Oh, that's so scary.
There's a bunch of firewood. Thanks for joining me. I just wanted to take a second to recap the project that I'm working on. The first video in this series has a more detailed overview, but for the purpose of this video, essentially I'm building a sculpture garden in West Texas, which will be composed of a series of timber frame structures, each of which will hold various sculptures and artwork inside of them. And so in this video, I'm basically working on the scale model of an entranceway. And I've got some sketches I'm going to show you. Here's the first sketch, which is really just a real basic kind of look at the structure and the entranceway, which you can see there. And then here's a front view of the entranceway. And then here is I did this on SketchUp, it's a more fleshed out vision of what the entranceway will be like at the end, which will have all sorts of bells and whistles like stained glass and carvings and stuff like that. So that, I know it seems like I'm a long way from there, but the reason why I'm making a model is because I wanted to do something a little different than typical timber frame joinery. I mean, it's not innovative or completely new, it just draws off of various joints that I've seen that have inspired me. So I needed to figure out like measurements and proportions and angles and just the blocking and tackling of making these joints before I figure that out on large expensive timbers. And so that brings us to another thing that I wanted to mention, which is my inspiration for this type of joinery and this type of timber framing. While I absolutely love Western style timber framing and I'm very, very inspired by it, I really love Japanese and Korean timber framing, if for no other reason than they've stood the test of time in a way that very few things in human history have as far as it goes with wood construction. There are temples in Japan that have been around for upwards of 1,500 years that were built without nails or screws. With that in mind, it's important for me to get all this right before I really get into building the actual thing. Thus the model making and all the sketches. And but you know, I appreciate you joining me on this journey. I hope it inspires you. And now I'm going to get started on working on this sill. So now you can kind of see a square on each side, and that's going to be the through mortise. So I marked it on each side, and I'll work it from each side so that they'll meet kind of in the middle, and if it's a little bit off, you won't really see that from the outside. This is the outside, the front post. So I'm gonna leave this exactly as it is, so that the tenon will just come through about 1/2 inch, just like it does up here, down there. And then in here, on the inside, I'm gonna cut out like 1/2 inch to make a shoulder for the beam to fit right in there. So that's what I'm gonna do next, is cut this bit out. Morning, Dad.
Hey, good morning, Scout.
What are we gonna go do this morning?
Ready to go fishing?
Ready.
All right, well, we're gonna hit the high country.
Here we go.
And, it's gonna be a challenge to see what these fish are biting on.
Up at about 9,000 feet in the high country, up with the clouds. Beautiful here. The Rudy Reservoir above the Frying Pan River and below it. The beautiful Frying Pan River. Absolutely beautiful. Leaves are starting to change color. There's a lot of deciduous trees here, as well as pines. So you get that beautiful color change in the autumn, along with right there, front and center, Christmas trees. Hey, here I am on the Roaring Fork River. My dad's a little bit upstream. I got this really nice stretch right here. I'll try to show you. There we go. There's nobody out here. We got it all to ourselves. Let's see if we can catch some trout. Here's my fly selection right here. I kind of tailored this to this river, or at least what I know of this river. Got some ant patterns, green drake, royal wolf, stimulators, hopper and chubby Chernobyl, some little nymphs, copper john. Little blue sky peeking out. Beautiful, beautiful brown trout. Gorgeous. Look at those colors. Beautiful. Now I need to make the tenon that goes through there. So cut that out of here and go from there. That is a big, 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 big boy. Dinosaurs. Wow. Incredible.
Whoa, good job! That was some pro stalking.
How is it rare to see here, so I can find it rare.
What do we think? Are we having a good time at the zoo?
Yes.
About to see some donkeys and longhorns. What's been your favorite animal so far?
Goats.
Yeah. What about the lion?
And the Bengal tiger lion, the female lion, male lion, and cougar, and gray wolf.
Yeah, the wolves were cool. See how straight the grain is? You can only really do this when the grain is straight. Otherwise, it could cut into the tenon or out, and then you got to do a bunch of work to get it straight. So. Still need to clean up the cheeks a little bit, but that's looking pretty good. A little bit of a gap there, but I think I'm gonna call it on this particular piece just because I need to keep moving. It is just a model after all, but I like it. So now I'm going to take off these corners to make a square end cap for the peg, or make space for it. I was jogging through the Greenbelt, and it rained last night and a little bit this morning. It's kind of damp, but it's by no means flooded or anything. And I happened to, at a certain point, cross this little gully, which is almost always dry. And I happened to cross it right when I guess some run-up that had built up throughout the night kind of started to trickle down in the direction of Barton Creek. And it's just crazy to kind of be there right at that moment when water like breaks through an area that there's not normally water. And it just kind of tripped me out. So I'm going to share that footage with you. There was no water in here about a minute ago. Now it's all flowing towards Barton Creek, which is down there. Very interesting to be here right at the moment. Runoff from rain last night, really. There hasn't been much this morning, so mostly last night. It's taken this long for it all to kind of build up, and probably upstream from here it broke through some kind of pond. I don't know why I find this so fascinating, but I do.